Pizza Hut represents what I'd call a quintessential piece of Americana. Looking back, they embody the ideal family dining experience. How many viewers right now recall fond memories of meals shared there with loved ones? Perhaps you celebrated a birthday at their establishment, or maybe you took part in their reading incentive program where children collected distinctive pins and, best of all, earned a personal pan pizza. Getting that pizza required considerable effort, but the reward was exceptional. Many of us likely share comparable experiences with Pizza Hut, which makes their current situation somewhat disheartening. Let me clarify. I'm not suggesting they face imminent closure. The company maintains relative stability, and I expect they'll continue operating for the foreseeable future. However, substantial evidence indicates Pizza Hut has experienced more prosperous periods. In 2019, the company revealed plans to shut down 500 of their 7,500 American stores within the following 2 years. This formed part of a broader strategic initiative focused on eliminating underperforming outlets and rebuilding. I'll elaborate on this later, but this represents a major reduction in operations. Company leadership, including the president and senior management, have openly acknowledged dissatisfaction with Pizza Hut's overall results. Examining their revenue figures from recent years shows relatively steady numbers, which might not initially appear problematic. However, this becomes worrying when we consider their position in the market. Comparing their performance to Domino's reveals the real concern. Their advertising claims about being unbeatable might no longer hold water. During the 1970s and extending into the 1980s, those who lived through that era can confirm Pizza Hut dominated as the premier national pizza establishment. They achieved national prominence before such widespread chains even existed. Consumers faced a simple decision: visit their local neighborhood pizzeria or choose Pizza Hut. Other major chains recognizable today hadn't yet achieved nationwide significance until the 1980s at the earliest. Throughout subsequent decades, competition intensified. Smaller chains began narrowing the gap. Yet Pizza Hut maintained their leadership position until 2018. As the data demonstrates, Domino's claimed the top ranking that year and has since widened their advantage. This shift carries weight. After dominating for 47 years, Pizza Hut dropped to second place, and not by a small margin. That same year, I surveyed this channel's viewers about their preferred major pizza chain. After collecting 46,000 responses, Domino's emerged as the decisive favorite, with Pizza Hut finishing second. This reinforces the notion that consumer loyalty has shifted away from them. Additional evidence includes their largest franchise operator, NPC International, declaring bankruptcy in July 2020. This franchisee managed roughly 20% of American Pizza Hut locations. While other circumstances contributed to that situation, it doesn't reflect positively on the brand's health. This eventually resulted in closing an additional 300 restaurants. Then consider their logo redesign. Throughout their dominant era spanning the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they used a particular emblem. In 1999, they modified it, adding additional colors and an angled design. 20 years later, in 2019, they reverted to the original. According to their chief brand officer at that time, adopting the classic Pizza Hut emblem acknowledges an era when they indisputably dominated, suggesting that's the direction they're heading. I interpret this as the vintage logo symbolizing Pizza Hut's golden age, and restoring it will evoke those better times for customers. Hopefully we can agree Pizza Hut has indeed experienced better periods. They've surrendered significant market share, and in this video I'll attempt to explain the reasons behind this decline. Hey, quick favor before we dive deeper. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the company's documentary, smash that like button and subscribe. The beginning. The original Pizza Hut launched in Wichita, Kansas in 1958, starting incredibly humbly. Two brothers, Frank and Dan Carney, secured $600 from their mother, using those funds to purchase secondhand equipment and lease a modest building near a university campus. Interestingly, they named their first establishment Pizza Hut primarily because the sign they acquired had limited space for lettering. Obviously wanting to include the word pizza, their second word could only contain 3 letters. They ultimately chose Hut, establishing the brand identity. Had the sign been larger, things might have evolved quite differently. From the start, they prioritized quality pizza and excellent service, believing in it strongly enough that on opening night, they distributed free pizzas to build their customer base. The promotion proved effective. The restaurant flourished, and after approximately a year, they persuaded an acquaintance to run the first franchise location in Topeka, Kansas. It's also noteworthy that their early marketing featured a stereotypical character called Pizza Pete. This mascot seemingly served dual purposes, entertaining children while emphasizing the Italian origins of their cuisine. Pizza wasn't nearly as familiar or widespread then, so such a character effectively attracted customers and established a welcoming atmosphere. They embraced the distinctive red roof design, constructed their buildings accordingly, and continued expanding franchise locations throughout the United States and internationally to countries like Canada and Germany. By 1971, Pizza Hut operated over 1,000 locations, making them the world's largest pizza restaurant chain. 6 years afterward, having more than doubled to surpass 2,000 locations, PepsiCo acquired them. Pepsi elevated them to even greater heights, exceeding 5,000 locations within a decade of acquisition, and surpassing 7,500 locations when they separated the restaurant division into an independent publicly traded entity. For additional information about their PepsiCo era and those developments, I recommend another video I created about Pepsi. That new corporation initially operated as Tricon Global Restaurants before rebranding as Yum Brands, which continues today. Currently, it primarily comprises KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, though some observers believe Pizza Hut has been dragging them down and should be separated. The core problems. When examining the causes behind Pizza Hut's difficulties, I believe most can be explained by two primary issues. Lack of compelling menu innovations. The first involves insufficient compelling menu offerings. I recognize this might sound insignificant initially, but allow me to elaborate. Today, practically every fast food establishment maintains a continuous stream of limited-time items. Pumpkin-spiced, Cheetos-flavored, whatever the trend. Pizza Hut actually pioneered this approach to an extent where I'd argue these attention-grabbing, innovative menu items once constituted a cornerstone of their success. Some examples I'd classify as more gimmicky include The Edge, featuring toppings extending closer to the pizza's perimeter than normal, or The Big New Yorker, both launched during the late 1990s. They sold successfully and maintained customer interest in Pizza Hut. Other menu introductions I genuinely characterize as innovative include the pan pizza debut in 1980, or the stuffed crust pizza released in 1995, notably endorsed by Donald Trump. Numerous examples demonstrate how Pizza Hut once offered one of the most inventive menus available, which regrettably may no longer be accurate. In late 2014, you might find this surprising, Pizza Hut unveiled a completely revamped menu. They branded it Flavor of Now and described it as their most significant brand transformation ever. This was intended as a major event. They introduced new ingredients, sauces, crust varieties, drizzles, a bold endeavor to completely overhaul their entire menu, making it appear contemporary and more upscale. Accompanying this new menu, they redesigned their website, packaging, employee uniforms, and logo. I believe this aimed to shift their target demographic away from families toward millennials specifically. I'll venture most of you barely recall this happening, if at all, because the entire Flavor of Now initiative essentially failed. As we've already observed, it did absolutely nothing to improve their sales. If anything, they actually declined slightly the following year. The Yum Brand CEO confirmed the outcomes were disappointing, and, as far as I can determine, it's been largely abandoned. If anything, it probably just alienated their established customer base more than anything. Overall, this suggests Pizza Hut isn't quite what they once were at introducing menu items that resonate with their customers. I'm simply stating the Bigfoot pizza achieved more success than the cockadoodle bacon. That's an odd statement. Slow adoption of delivery focus. The second aspect of their challenges relates to being sluggish regarding delivery. I don't mean requiring over 30 minutes to transport pizza so it arrives cold. I mean being slow to make pizza delivery, in general, a core business component. Historically, pizza ranks as the most frequently delivered food item, correct? Even more so now than ever. but it's been occurring for decades. Before 2020, before e-commerce dominance, before all of it, people ordered delivered pizzas. However, Pizza Hut was once renowned for their family-oriented dine-in restaurants. In the beginning of this video, when you reminisced about birthday parties and personal pan pizzas, which is another Pizza Hut innovation, incidentally, these experiences occurred inside a Pizza Hut restaurant, not at home eating delivered Pizza Hut pizza. It was an experience, an occasion, not merely about the food. In fact, they didn't even provide pizza delivery on a widespread scale until 1986, and they only did so then because Domino's had been extremely successful with it. You could even argue Pizza Hut's absence from delivery during those years significantly enabled Domino's to establish themselves initially. I must acknowledge that despite a delayed start, they've been assertive with it, but I think the challenge is it represents such a fundamental shift in public perception. They've attempted various dramatic marketing campaigns to make people connect Pizza Hut with delivery. In 1989, they famously delivered pizza to the White House. In 2001, they delivered it to space. In 2016, they delivered it atop Mount Kilimanjaro. When they closed those 500 locations, the motivation was eliminating the dining space and reopening them as smaller structures. Their fastest expanding store formats are compact, ones they designate Delco, short for delivery and carryout. Part of their logic is that if each time you encounter a Pizza Hut, it's a compact building, you'll mentally recalibrate and associate them with delivery. Summary. To summarize everything, Pizza Hut represents a vastly different entity than before. They've existed long enough for the world to transform around them. Elements that previously made them popular have become obsolete, forcing them to adapt to these changes. Meanwhile, some competitors like Domino's or Little Caesars initially expanded within that new environment, if that makes sense. It's comparable to Pizza Hut being the older generation struggling to connect with the younger one. Some of their adaptation attempts appear somewhat sluggish, possibly misdirected, but they are attempts. They understand their destination. They just haven't determined precisely how to arrive there. This gives me confidence they'll eventually make progress in the correct direction. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about Pizza Hut. How have they transformed over the years? And how has your perception of them evolved? Do you even enjoy their pizzas? Or do you favor one of their competitors?